Hello everybody, DJOzine here, and welcome to my review of the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Bumblebee. Yes, my next Studio Series pickup. This should be an interesting one. When I first got this figure, I'm going to be honest, I kind of hated it, so if I was recording this video like 2 or 3 days ago, this would probably be a super negative review, but I've, quite come around to this guy now, so, let's just get into it. Let's start off with the box. So here's our packaging. It is a standard deluxe class packaging. We have a picture of Bumblebee right there. Bumblebee Studio Series Transformers, Hasbro Transformers on the side. Nice picture of Bumblebee Autobot logo, which is actually accurate because it's an Autobot. On the back, we have nice obligatory product shots. Robot mode, vehicle mode shows you the little display base that's included. 39 whopping steps. Yeah, that is, yep. Yeah. On the side, you have a other nice picture of Bumblebee Studio Series 49, and that'll do for the packaging. And here is Bumblebee, and I quite like this figure. I didn't at first. I had a lot of issues with this guy at first. I do still have a couple issues with this figure, but overall, I do quite like him. I do. So here he is in his Camaro mode, and I absolutely love this Camaro mode because I love this car, always have, ever since I saw 2007 Transformers for the first time. I love this car. It is just such an awesome car, man. Really, really nice. And if you look closer, you do have the Chevy logo picked out in gold there, which is super, super cool to see. The headlights look great as well. You got the racing stripes right there, looking really good. First issue right here, this piece doesn't like to sit flush. This, on the other side here, this is kind of okay, but this one doesn't really like to sit flush, and it kind of just pops itself back out. So that's that's my first issue with this figure. That's a more minor one compared to some of the other things I'm going to talk about. But yeah, overall, very, very nicely done. A lot of panels, but hey, I mean, the way that this thing transforms, it's honestly pretty crazy to me that it only has this amount of panels. Because my goodness, the transformation for this guy is pretty insane. But yeah, really, really nicely done. The back lights also picked out in red paint right there. Overall, really nice. I dig the silver on the tires as well. Very, very cool. And now we're gonna get into something that originally was gonna be a complaint when I was first about to make the video. Well, when I first got this guy, it was originally going to be a complaint I brought up in the review, but I'm actually not going to count it against it. And that is that I thought he was way too small. He is very, very small. And I was comparing him with the Studio Series Soundwave. And as you can see here, they do not scale whatsoever. This Mercedes is way, way, way bigger than this Camaro, and I cannot see how on earth that'd be accurate. Why on earth would this car be so much bigger than this car? And it's a substantial amount as well. Like, it is a really substantial amount. Just overall mass in every way. The Mercedes is so much bigger. The Soundwave is so much bigger than Bumblebee here. So I thought he was too small. I thought he was out of scale with the rest of my Studio Series figure. But then I got my Studio Series Barricade in the mail, and yeah, I guess they just made Soundwave a little bit bigger than the standard deluxe classes, because Barricade and Bumblebee here look really good, or these two were just made a little bit smaller than the standard deluxe class figures, so yeah, but as you can see here, I guess I don't really think I can count that against it, because clearly clearly there's something going on here. Either they were made a little bit smaller so that they could scale well, or Soundwave was just made a little bit bigger. I don't know which one it is, but I'm not gonna count it against this figure for being too small this time, because apparently I guess it's kind of what they were going for here. Now, you do get a gun with Bumblebee. You get his little hand cannon here, and this looks really, really good in robot mode. But in vehicle mode, it does have these two little tabs right here on the side, 1 and 2, and you can take these and you can insert them into those 2 tabs right there as weapon storage, and I actually quite like this weapon storage. It does look a little bit weird, but honestly, I kind of like it. I kind of like the way it integrates. I mean, I definitely would rather have it there than just like plugged on the side or on the top or anything like that. So yeah, I personally like that weapon storage. I'm fond of it. Overall, I think it looks really, really good. Now, we're gonna get into another one of my complaints with this figure that I almost forgot to talk about, and that is the fact that mine doesn't roll for shit. I think these pieces are just, like, there's something going on here, and I can't get them to go in any further than that, but he won't roll to save his life. He can't roll. Mine can't roll at all. So, I don't know what's causing it. It might be this piece, and I don't think I have anything I can do to fix it, because it does look like it's kind of leaning down a little bit more on this side, but yeah. Mine doesn't roll for crap. It's not that big a deal, but I definitely would prefer if he could roll, you know, fine. It actually seems like it might be up here that's causing it to. I can't get it. I don't know why, but it is kind of crappy that mine can't roll to save its life, but hey, it is what it is. Definitely will be counting that against it though. Alrighty, now for comparison. And let's bring back in Barricade, because it's obviously the top comparison, of course. They look quite good together. I really, really like the way that they look together. You can definitely get some nice poses with them. I very much like the way they look together, especially since they made them in scale with each other. They definitely look very, very good together. But yeah, stay tuned for the review on Barricade, because it'll be coming soon. I was considering doing them in a double review, because I got them kind of at the same time, but this figure's way too good to be in a double review. So, there you have that comparison. And once again, here he is with Soundwave. And here he is with the Optimus Prime. You can see how, oh, goodness gracious. So there he is with Optimus Prime, and I think they are in scale. I definitely think they look pretty good together. And here he is with Sentinel Prime. Here he is with the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. Here he is with Brawl. So yeah, he's a tiny figure. He's a tiny figure. And, he definitely doesn't, change in robot mode. That's all I'll tell you right now. And lastly, here he is with Shatter. Obviously, it's the wrong Bumblebee to pair with Shatter, but they don't look too bad together. I quite like the way they look together, so there you go. So yeah, he's a pretty tiny figure. And when I first got him, I honestly thought he was a little bit lackluster for the $20 deluxe class price, so, but honestly, he's got quite a bit going on with him right now. Like I said, when I first got this figure, I was ready to give him like the most negative review ever, but I've warmed up to him. So let's get into the transformation, and oh boy, this transformation is absurd. This is one of the reasons why I did not like this guy at first. This transformation is so complex. It's ridiculous, and it's a little deluxe class figure, so let's just get into it. So, little graphic will appear on screen right now. If you want to skip the transformation, skip to the timestamps provided right there, but let's get into this. So, first thing you want to do is you want to come back here to this section here, and you want to take this piece, and you want to kind of just get this untabbed from this little spot, and then fold this out. And yes, you can kind of use this as like a simulation for like flip out doors, or you might want to like fold this out of sight right there. So yeah, it can kind of look like you opened his doors, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you just want to bring those out and do the same thing on the other side here. So that's kind of a neat little thing that I guess they kind of worked in there somehow with the transformation, maybe unintentionally, maybe intentionally, I don't know. So yeah, you want to flip those out, and then what you want to do is you want to bring this piece down, and you want to split this piece right here, and then these will kind of just angle out, and then you want to come down here, and you want to take these pieces, flip these out to the side here, just like that on either side, those just flip down, and then these pieces are going to spin around, but you have to kind of clear this piece right here. This is one of the things I don't like. I don't feel like there's a lot of clearance here for this, and you want to do that. But you also want to make sure that this piece right here, this little yellow piece on the leg, you want to bring that up like that, just so it's out of your way, and then you can finish swiveling this piece out, and then it will click right down there. You can see that tab will tab right into the leg right there. And then this piece will fold down, and then you can slide the foot on the slider all the way that way, and then push it down, and then come to the front here, and then take this little window piece here, fold that down, and then take the leg, swivel it around, and it will sit right there. Swivel the whole leg around just like that, and then you have one leg done. Then you do the same thing on the other side. So you want to get this around this little section here, which once again, this is another thing I don't really think was thought out too well with this figure, is this entire thing right there. But once you get it past, you just do that, and then you come on here, and then you just tab it into place right there, fold that piece down. You can kind of do these in whatever order you want. I mean, it all comes together in the end, so there you have that, and then rotate the leg around, make sure it's tabbed in there, and there you have the legs all done. So now you can be a walking car thingy. Alright, So, now what we're gonna do, what do we wanna do now? Okay, we're gonna bring the pieces down here. This piece right here, this piece is kind of cool because they literally just put a hinge in here just for your ease of transformation, although it doesn't help much, but it's nice that they put it in there because it's not really necessary. It just kind of helps, but you can use this and bring down the arms here. And then these pieces, I recommend folding out and then just angling the arms down for now, just like that. And then what I recommend doing is coming in here, and then you want to spin the entire waist around. Now, you got be careful with this. This is here's another one of my complaints with this figure. The entire torso of this is really just this one little thin little rod right there, and if that snaps, your whole figure is done for. So when you're turning this, I would recommend like holding this piece like tightly and then turning that piece around just like that. That's just what I would recommend doing personally. Alrighty, we're making progress here. We're making progress. Alright. So, now what you're going to do is you want to come up here and you want to take the headlight sections here, and these will untab. And then, oh, actually, no, you want to come back here and you want to actually untab this piece first. So, this entire little assembly here is going to untab, and then these pieces will fold out just like that. And then do the same thing on the other side here. Untab that piece, and then fold those pieces out and swing them to the side, and then untab the headlights here. There's a lot of steps to this, guys, so I apologize for that confusion right there. But bring this piece down, and then take these pieces here, and these are going to shift in on this cool little joint here, and those will tab into place, and those are good, and this is going to make up his new chest piece right there. So very clever transformation there. I do quite like that. And then these pieces are going to rotate to the back, and this entire back of the car here, get these out of your way, this entire back of the car here, you're going to fold this piece in, right, just like that, and then this entire piece is going to fold in, and you want to get this underneath there, and it will all kind of work its way into place, and that will create the backpack. Then you can fold these pieces back. We can bring up the arms here on the little joints here. I like to bring them a little bit down just so his arms don't look as stubby. So there you go, and I like to bring the arms a little bit down right there. And we're almost done. You want to come to the back here, and then you want to angle the doors back to give him his little wings. And then also, this is a piece, okay, straight up, I really like this piece of transformation right here because this is like the only Bumblebee figure I've ever seen that actually gives him the little extra pieces down here for his door wings, and they literally just fold out from this piece right here on this cool little assembly, and it just flips down to the bottom right there. Very, very cool. I really, really like that. That is a really neat thing they did with this guy. But there you go. There you have Bumblebee in his robot mode. And yeah, that transformation is obscene. It's really, really tough. But once you get him done, he is a nice looking Bumblebee. Although, I'm gonna admit, when I first got this guy, once again, I was not feeling this figure. I was not feeling this robot mode. And I still think this robot mode could have been better. I don't really like these giant wheel pieces hanging off to the side. That's my biggest complaint with the robot mode. Honestly, if it didn't have those giant wheel pieces off to the side, I think this robot mode would pretty much be perfect. But those just hurt it a little bit for me. I don't really like the way they look. And there's nothing you can do about them. You can't fold them to the back. You can't do anything with them. They just stuck flared out like that, and it's just the way it had to be. Also, I kind of wish they had just made the battle mask an accessory and not his actual head, because I prefer the standard look, so it kind of sucks that they only gave him the battle mask, but hey, it is what it is. Also, I know there's supposed to be an isn't there supposed to be an Autobot logo on the chest here? I'm like almost certain. I don't know, I think there is, but really, really nicely done overall. And I mean, he does have all the Bumblebee components. He does have the nice looking, the chest piece right there. He does have the door wings. Overall, the backpack is very nice. Like, I'm not really a big fan of just folding out the entire, top of the car and putting it on the back, but, I mean, it's what they had to do. And honestly, this is probably one of the better ones I've seen when it comes to that. I mean, it definitely isn't as egregious as I've seen some of the other ones. Like, Lockdown, that one looks really, I don't have it, obviously, but the Lockdown looks ridiculous. The Lockdown literally just folds the entire freaking roof of the car on the back of the figure. But this one, at least it kind of folds up and tucks away really nicely, and it even kind of makes this cool little thing at the top, because this piece kind of sits perfectly into this little cavity right there. And yeah, overall, very, very nice. Now, we're going to get into another one of my complaints. This piece doesn't actually lock in place anywhere. It literally just kind of folds down and you just kind of sit it right there. It'd be nice if this little section actually like locked in place into that little piece right there, because you can push it in, but it won't lock in place. It's just gonna be free flowing. It's gonna move around when you're moving him around. And overall, I think they could have figured out some way to put a little locking point in there for that thing. But overall, I think the robot mode came out very, very, very nice. Alrighty, so to give him his gun, I actually quite like the way this integrates, because they kind of worked it in here. You just put it in his hand, but the way that they did it, it really does look like his hand just transformed into the gun like it does in the movie. So yeah, I really like the way that looks. I mean, I think they could have gotten the color a little bit better, but hey, I like the way it looks, and you can definitely get some cool poses with this. I definitely do like it. I definitely do quite like the accessory. And when you're not using it, they did add some weapon storage, which I always very much appreciate. You can peg the weapon onto that little port right there in the back, just like that, and there you have the weapon all stored. Very, very nice. I really like when the figures have the ability to store their weapons in all modes and it look elegant. I really, really like that. That's one of the things I really loved about the Starscream figure. Alrighty, now for articulation. So he is very well articulated. I definitely think that obscenely complex transformation, they definitely took into account. They wanted him to be articulated. So he has some movement in the head. He has a little ball joint at the head. He can go up and down, a little bit of wiggly waggly, you know, just very, very nice overall. Can do a good amount of movement in the head. Arms can do a full 360 if it wasn't for these giant pieces being in the way here because they're on a ball joint. They can shift up and down on this little joint here, and I prefer to leave them kind of down because if you bring them all the way up, I just think it looks a little, his arms look a little bit too short to me, so I like to bring them down, and I think that gives them the right length right there. Maybe not that all the way down like that, just like around that point, just because I think it looks a little bit better. He has a ball joint at the elbow right here, so he can swivel, he can bring it up like that. Overall, pretty nice. No movement in the hands. This piece right here is kind of weird because this piece can actually like bring out a little bit, which is kind of weird, but you can do it. Legs can go forward that far, back that far. You have a knee bend right here. Almost not, you could probably actually get a double bend if it wasn't for this piece being in the way. So overall, really nice knee bend. And then you can kind of simulate an ankle pivot by bringing this piece out. You can kind of use this piece as like an ankle pivot, this transformation joint as an ankle pivot. And then when you get it to the right spot that you want to put him in, you can just sit this piece back in and that will kind of lock it in place if you want. So he does have ankle pivot kind of, if you want to use that as ankle pivot, which I do because it's nice. And then the feet can just go up and down. You don't really have anything else in there. But like I said, you can, of course, simulate the ankle pivot with that transformation joint right there. So overall, pretty well articulated. Now for comparison, here he is with Optimus, and I think they look so good together. Oh my goodness, I love the way they look together. I think the scale's right here. This looks right to me. I think Optimus was really big in the movie, so this looks right to me. I love the way they look together. They make a really nice. Most of them they already kind of ran their release, and now they're all kind of really difficult to get. I really want Ironhide and Jazz and Ratchet, but I don't know. Hopefully someday I'll get them to go along with them, but I think they look really, really, really good together. And here he is with Barricade, and I think they look really good together as well. Once again, stay tuned for the review of Barricade coming soon. Spoiler, this thing is fucking awesome. This is my new favorite deluxe class figure in the studio series. But yeah, I think they look really, really, really good together. I really, really like the way they look together. And I'm just going to move them a little bit this way and bring in Soundwave on the other side here. And I gotta say, man, these deluxe class figures, I like these deluxe class figures. I don't know why, but the size that these deluxe class figures are, you know, moving these back, and we'll bring in my last deluxe class figure here, just so I can talk about the deluxe class figures as a whole, because they're really, really, really cool. I don't know why, but I really dig the size that these deluxe class figures are. They just look so good next to each other, and I really dig them. I don't know why I really like these, but I think the deluxe class figures are actually my favorite, you know, there's the Deluxe, there's the Voyager, and there's the Leader. I think deluxe class figures are my favorite because I really like the size of them. They're a lot of fun to play with. They're usually the most posable of them all. Like Optimus here, he's super posable, which is really, really nice, but when you compare the, okay, I don't know what I'm getting at. I think I'm just crazy, but honestly, I do think that these might be a little bit more posable overall. They're a lot of fun to play with. I really, really like the deluxe class in general. It's just very good. And so you can get a basic sense of how he scales with 16 scale figures. Here he is with a Marvel Legend figure, just so you can see how they look. And yes, you can see he's actually probably more along the size of like a 5-inch scale figure right there. So there you have that. And here he is with a NECA Ultimate figure, which is a 7-inch scale figure, so you can see how he scales with a 7-inch scale figure right there. And yeah, he's a small figure. He definitely is. And he honestly, I might not even be coming across on camera how small he is, because when I was watching reviews of this guy, I thought he was a lot bigger than he was. And when I got him, I was like, oh my god, this guy is minuscule. So yeah, he's small. He is very small. Alrighty, now for reverse transformation. I can't say I'm looking forward to this. Alright, let's get into it. So, oh boy, let's see if I can remember how to do this properly. Alright, bring this piece out, and then we're going to come down here, and we're going to rotate this entire piece up, just like that. Bring this piece out, and then fold this entire assembly up, just like this. This will untab from here. And there you have that. I like to leave these out personally, and then because you want to rotate right here, like that, and then I like to just leave the legs out for now, this piece. I just like to leave that out for now. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side here. Bring this piece up, make sure that's flipped out, go like that, bring these out. Oh, also, these pieces, you want to slide these all the way forward. One thing I want to say about this real quick is the way where these are going to end up, these are going to kind of look like, because if you look here, it looks like these are supposed to lock together right here, because it looks like those pieces are supposed to like slot into that slot right there, but they don't. You can't get them to slot together. It doesn't happen. So I don't know why those pieces, why it's like that, because I tried everything. I even looked at the instructions, which I hate doing, but yeah, those do not step together. I don't know what was going on there. Maybe they were thinking about doing something with that, but they abandoned it. I don't know, but it's how they are, and it's, yeah, oh my god, this guy is ridiculous. This transformation is fucking absurd, man. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so this obviously just untab from there, fold that out, and then that's what I like to leave the legs for now. Alright, bring these pieces down, the arm sections here, bring these down. Be careful once again because of the thin torso right there. Another one of my complaints with the figure is that thin torso. I don't like that. Make sure the weapon's not on the back there. And there you have that. Now take the entire roof of the car here, and this piece kind of folds out. This piece folds out as well, and then this entire assembly is going to shift forward, and then you want to rotate these back just like that. Also make sure that the door wings right there, you have to flip those pieces in. So once again on this side, just fold that up just like that, simple as that. And there you have that. There is some clearance issues with this guy, which is another one of my complaints with this guy. But you just shift this piece up, and then this piece right here, you want to untab the headlight sections from here. Bring those out, and then this piece is going to shift forward, and it's going to sit like that. It has to sit like that. You can't have this tucked up like this. It has to sit just like that, just like how you see right there. And then we're gonna bring these pieces up on this little Jordan here. What is going on here? Why aren't you moving up? Okay, they were stuck in something there. Bring these pieces up, and then tab those into place right there. Once again, you can bring this piece down just like that to help you get some clearance there, which is nice. And then what you can do here is you can bring these pieces forward, and they will kind of tip forward. Once again, bring them forward, and they will kind of just like click forward just like that. You can just leave those up there for now. And then the arm pieces, you can swivel these in, and you can fold these up, and then these pieces are going to just tuck right there into there. I want to make sure all that is leveled though. Okay. So at this point here, you want to actually, forgot about this. Oh, I tell you, man, there's so much steps to this guy. And then at this point, you want to rotate the waist piece around. Once again, be careful with that torso piece because it's so thin. And there you have that. Okay, now you can flip these pieces in, and you can fold them up just like that, and those will tuck in place just like that. Okay, and once again, same thing on the other side here. Just take this piece, fold it up, and just tuck it right there. So you want to have that going on. You want to have his head like framed in between his forearms right there, which is kind of fun. And then make sure all that's clipped in, and then peg that piece forward. And there we have that. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to tab these pieces together in the back here. I'm going to make sure that these are correctly oriented, and you want to tab these pieces in the back here. There we go. And then these pieces are going to fold forward, and once again, you have to kind of clear this piece right here, which is easier said than done, but it's what you have to do, and I don't think this was thought all the way through. Oh, goodness gracious. So once you get that, you want to push the foot piece into this little section here, and all that will just clip forward, just like that. Get all that going, and then this piece will fold up and will tab in place into that section right there. And there you have that side done. Now do the same thing on the other side here. Once again, fold this piece forward, and you just have to clear this little piece right here, which once again is easier said than done. It's so little clearance here. There you go. And then fold that piece in, get all that tabbed in, and that's all done. Now these pieces, once again, you want to make sure that these pieces are tabbed in place all the way. You will hear clicks. They will click in place with this piece right here. You'll hear it if it will go in just like that. And then you have all of that. And then finally, you want to take the doors and basically just close them, and they will tab in they will tab into a whole bunch of spots here. They will slot, that slot will slot into that place right there, and then a bunch of other places right here. And these pieces right there, there's a slot right there, that will slot right there, and then it will clip in place right there as well. So bring these in, make sure you get everything tabbed in. There's that piece, and then get that tabbed in, and then push it into place right there. You'll hear it click, and there you have that side. And do the same thing on the other side here. Tab, click, click, and click, click, and boom. There you go. Click, click, boom. Click, click, boom. There you have it. There you have Bumblebee in his car mode. And once again, mine doesn't roll at all. There's nothing I can do about it. It just doesn't happen. Also, I might have cut it out. These pieces, you need to fold from there into there, just like that. And that's how you have that. But there you have him back in car mode. Like, once again, transformation is fucking obscene. It is so complicated. You can stick his gun back here as well, which once again I do like. And there you have car mode. So there you have that. Now for our showcase. So, final thoughts on this figure. Honestly, I really like him, actually. Like, when I first got this guy, I wasn't feeling him at all. I hated the transformation. I'm still not a big fan of the transformation. And I didn't really think either of the modes looked particularly good. I thought the vehicle mode was overall too small. I didn't like that there were pieces that weren't pegging into place and staying tabbed in. And I thought the robot mode was just too weighed down by kibble. And I was ready to give this guy a really negative review. But over the couple days of having him, I have really started liking him. And doing this review, posing him around, doing the showcase, I've definitely turned a complete 180 on this figure. I really like him, and I would highly recommend it. Now, I did get him for standard price, which is awesome. I would not recommend paying too much for this guy. I got him for standard retail price, which is $20 for a deluxe class figure. $20 for this guy, definitely worth it, I feel. If you can get it for $20, I say definitely go for it. But I wouldn't pay too much more than that. I mean, the engineering is really good, but it's very, like, the transformation overall, I would say, is not fun. I don't really like the transformation. I don't really enjoy transforming this guy. It's just, there's a whole lot of clearance issues. He's very small, so it's kind of difficult to get a gauge of where you are. There's a lot to it that I don't like. That the torso is just that one little skinny piece of plastic. I really am worried that transforming this guy, constantly having to turn that waist all the way around for the transformation, I am worried that that piece might break eventually. Not too worried. I feel like Hasbro is definitely smarter than that and would definitely reinforce something like that to make sure it doesn't break for the user. I definitely think that it will be fine, but it does kind of scare me just ever so slightly. I would be lying if I said it didn't just scare me a little bit. But overall, I think the figure's really nice. Really nice size. I love the way he looks with with Optimus Prime. I love the way he looks with Barricade. And yeah, he's overall gonna get a pretty solid recommendation from me. So I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10 for the final rating. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider hitting that subscribe button for more Transformer reviews and other figure reviews. And this is TK Guillotine, signing out.